doing any sewing. We're doing something else that I go absolutely wild for, which is historical and vintage clothing. Today we are going to be looking at, and I will be putting on, my grandmother's clothing from the 60s and 70s. I have been able to dress up in this clothing and have had it in my possession since I was 8 or something. So I have tried it on a few times, and recently, as in the last 3 to 5 years, it has started to fit me. Most of this clothing I have worn to different events or to school, so I will tell you what I've used it for in recent years and where my grandma bought it, if she remembers, and what she used it for, and any other fascinating tidbits that I can find about it. With some of the pieces, it may look as though I should wear them more frequently. Honestly, I really never go for a 70s aesthetic, though for a while I did think that the 60s were the best era of fashion ever, and that is because I watched Hairspray too many times. This was how into the 60s I was in 7th grade. Anyway, to the costume chamber. Okay, well, first I'll curl my hair, then put some makeup on, and then last, but definitely not least, tease. First up, we have this little lime green polka dot tent dress from the 1960s. This dress's claim to fame in my grandmother's wardrobe is that she jumped trains in it to not go to Soviet Russia after she got on the wrong train. Then we have this lovely dress. It's from the 1960s. This dress was bought in Juneau in the 1960s. It is the perfect weight of a lightweight wool, perfect for Alaskan climates in the fall or spring. I wore it for hippie day at school and possibly a 1970s day because nobody else cared about historical accuracy. And I felt like wearing it because it is so comfortable and the bat sleeves are so much fun. There's this dress, which looks like it should be very slimming and nice on a lot of different people, but it looks kind of terrible on me, and that's okay. Anyway, I'm including it because I think it is very 60s, and Clementine decided that she liked this one. These two suits, where I've worn both of these suit jackets as actual jackets at different times during high school because they're just so wonderful. The only problem with these things is that the pockets are very small, and I don't want to alter them to make the pockets bigger because they are vintage pieces. My grandmother wore this suit on her tour across Europe in the mid-60s. To match the 60s style of the jacket, I paired it with a pencil skirt and those same knee-high boots because they're the only ones that work for this era that I own, and a burgundy shirt that looks pretty inconspicuous. The vibes that I get from this outfit are definitely Nancy Drew, as well as the other jacket, but I think that this one looks a little bit more equestrian, just because of the boots, I don't know.
This suit and the scarf, and at one point a pair of sage boots, was bought in Madrid, Spain, on the same tour across Europe.
Other things from the 1960s is this lovely dress. It was handmade for my grandma in Greece.
Oh my goodness, I love this dress so much. It has a very boho, beachy vibe, but still a little bit dressed up.
The last thing in the 1960s is this gorgeous piece. Sorry. My grandmother's first wedding dress from her first wedding. It was purchased in 1969. And then this is the veil that I will wear with it, but it was not my grandma's in the 1950s. She recently gave it to me.
Some chic bridal footage from the 1960s. I'm not quite sure what to say about this dress. It was purchased in Juneau, but the shoes, I'm very glad I have somewhere to wear because I bought them at the thrift shop for 99 cents, and they've been sitting in my closet for a year or so.
So, on to the 1970s. Quick note. When the clock struck midnight on 1969, December 31st, people didn't automatically just start wearing 70s clothing. There's a gradual shift in eras, and they don't necessarily correlate the exact years. Moving on from that, more bridal. This dress looks terrible on me, so I'm not gonna put it on for you. But here it is. It's a thick lime green linen dress. And it is a bridesmaid's dress and was worn with these gloves for my great aunt's wedding. However, I'm going to wear these gloves, this dress that doesn't like to be on a hanger, which is another bridesmaid's dress that my grandma wore.
I have used this dress as a costume piece in many a Renaissance outfit and some forest fairy looks, usually adding another bodice over the top or some kind of large belt. And although I haven't tried it, I have thought about using this as a Regency dress, adding some kind of fake neckline and some little puff sleeves, but I think I'd rather make a Regency outfit.
This dress is wonderful. My grandma didn't remember it, but I have dressed up in it since I can remember. And it has served me well, but now it is very short.
Although it seems rather far-fetched, the last time this was used as a costume piece was for a Dickens character.
I put this jacket on over the top of that dress. Sophomore year, for a music competition, I performed Journey to the Past from Anastasia in that coat.
My grandmother bought this at a shopping spree she went on in Portland, Oregon in the mid-1970s. In recent years, I have actually used it as a real coat, and it has served me well. Thoroughly enjoy that it can kind of go pirate and steampunk.
It is a great coat. It can look Edwardian train, kind of. But it has tiny pockets. This dress is next, and when I looked up 1970s fashion on Pinterest, a dress that looked so similar to this, I wondered if it was this one, came up in my search, so I styled it like the girl on the Pinterest page, with a scarf and big sunglasses and then chunky heels. I didn't have white chunky heels, otherwise I totally would have done that. I also don't have platforms, that's why there's no platform shoes.
Even without the white platforms, this look is kind of killer. Also, my grandma made this dress, which is pretty awesome. She quilts a lot, but she doesn't sew very much clothing, and when she does, it's usually for dolls or small children.
Yeah. This is surprisingly cute for being an Empire waistline. This 1970s skirt screams 1970s with the belt buckle and the length. It's kind of Western, but I think a lot of 70s clothing is kind of Western.
I think at this point I was kind of done with the serious modeling and went kind of Western as well. This skirt was bought in the same shopping spree as the red coat.
This gunny sack skirt. Yeah. It's a great skirt. I should wear it more often, honestly. Goes with the cottagecore theme people are into these days. I pair it with this jacket, which is totally wonderful and can easily look kind of Edwardian, which is fun. And can look steampunk. Also a great thing about this jacket. And it does have a red corduroy skirt that goes with it, and I don't know where it is.
I actually ended up pairing the skirt with a few things, but here's the first two. I think it's so adorable.
I don't often feel the urge to look like I walked out of a Western movie, but when I wear that gunny sack skirt, I think, yes, I want to be in a Western movie, and I want to look like I walked out of a Western all the time. But thank goodness I don't have much of that clothing, so I don't look like I walked out of a Western every day, other words. I'm sure they've done an adaptation of Oklahoma, the musical, the Rodgers and Hammerstein musical, where all the girls are wearing gunny sack clothing and all the boys look like they're wearing basically gunny sack clothing. But if they haven't, I would help make that happen. It doesn't have to be actual gunny sack clothing, it can just be recreations or very styled around gunny sack clothing. Also, very accurate historical costuming is lovely, but it'd be an interesting take on a modern interpretation of it.
Thank you for listening to my small TED Talk. Back to this. I just can't get enough of it. I don't know. I might just decide to go full cottagecore. Who knows?
This dress is so much fun in Hawaii and traveling.
My grandmother also thinks that this dress was bought on a similar shopping spree in Portland, Oregon, but she's not sure. Anyway, it is a great sundress and has large pockets big enough for a cell phone and whatever else you need. Perfect for traveling in tropical climates.
Always a good thing. This little ensemble.
The final number of the evening is this red plaid ensemble that's made by Young & Wardian. It is one of the only dresses with a tag that is intact because my grandmother hates tags. It was bought on the same shopping spree as the red coat, and for a very long time it was one of my favorite dresses to dress up in.
Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to support this channel, give this video a big thumbs up, comment below, and share with your friends. Or you can watch some other videos that I've made. See you in the next one. Bye!
It's ridiculous that it was that time. It was ridiculous that it was that tired. It was ridiculous that it was so tiring to try on that much clothing.